In the last lesson, we learned about exception handling, how to catch errors and keep our programs running smoothly. In this lesson, we are going to learn about list comprehensions. List comprehensions are one of the things that make Python special. They give you a clean, short, and elegant way to create lists in a single line of code. Before we dive in, I want to be honest with you. When you first see a list comprehension, it might look a little strange, but once you understand the pattern, you will wonder how you ever lived without it, and you will start seeing it everywhere in Python code. Let's open the terminal and go to our working directory. Let's start by looking at a problem that list comprehension solves. Let's create a new file. Let's name it comprehensions.py. Switch to the insert mode. Let's say we want to create a list of the squares of numbers from 1 to 10. The traditional way, using a loop, looks like this. Press escape, then save. Let's run the file. You can see the list of squares 1, 4, 9, 16 up to 100. Now that works perfectly. But it took 4 lines to do it. Create an empty list, write a loop, append inside the loop, then print. A list comprehension does the same thing in one line. Let's try it. Press escape and save. Let's run the file. You can see exactly the same result in one clean line. Now let me break down the structure of a list comprehension so that you understand it fully. The structure is open square bracket, expression, then followed by the for keyword, followed by the item, then followed by the in keyword, and then lastly the iterable. Let's look at our example. The square bracket tells Python that we are creating a list. Number **2 is the expression. That is what we want to do with each item. So we are telling it to take the number and raise it up to power 2. Then for number in range open bracket 1, 11 close bracket is the loop. That is going through each number from 1 to 10. So Python reads it like this. For each number in range 1 to 10, calculate number squared and put the result in a list. Once you see the pattern, it becomes very natural to read. Now, let's look at more examples. Let's update the file. Press escape, then save. Let's run the file. You can see doubled, that is, each number from 1 to 5 multiplied by 2. See 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Also, you see upper fruits, which is each fruit name converted to uppercase. Then length, which is the length of each fruit name, 5, 6, 6, 9. Notice how natural it reads. Open square bracket, fruit dot upper for fruits in fruits. That is, for each fruit in fruits, convert it to uppercase. That is almost plain English. Now, let's add a condition to a list comprehension. You can add an if statement at the end of a list comprehension to filter items, only including items that meet a certain condition. The structure becomes open square bracket, expression, followed by the for keyword, followed by the item, followed by the in keyword, followed by the iterable, followed by the if condition. Let me show you. Let's update the file. Press escape and save. Then let's run the file. You can see even numbers, that is, only the even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Also, odd numbers, only the odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Remember the modulo operator, which is the percentage from the math lesson. We said it would be useful for checking even and odd numbers. Here it is in action. Number modulo 2 is equal to 0 means the remainder when dividing by 2 is 0, which means the number is even. Number modulo 2 not equals to 0 means the remainder is not 0, which means the number is odd. The list comprehension goes through every number and only includes it in the new list if it passes the condition. Let's look at more examples with conditions. Let's update the file. Press escape and save. Then let's run the file. You can see passed only the scores that are 50 and above. Failed only the scores below 50. Long fruits only the fruit names that have more than 5 letters. This is very powerful. In just one line each, we filtered a list based on a condition. Without list comprehensions, each of these would have required a loop, an if statement, an empty list, and an append call. Now let's compare the traditional approach and the list comprehension approach side by side, so you can see just how much cleaner the comprehension is. Let's create a new file named compare.comprehensions.py. Switch to insert mode. Then let's write the following codes. Press escape, then save. Let's run the file. You can see that both approaches give the exact same result. But look at the difference. The traditional approach uses 4 lines. The list comprehension uses 1 line. And they both do the same thing. This is why Python programmers love list comprehensions. They make the code shorter, cleaner, and easier to read once you know the pattern. Now let's build a final practice program that uses list comprehension in a real-world context. Let's create a new file named resultsprocessor.py. Switch to the insert mode. Then let's type some codes. Press escape and save. Let's run the file. You can see a complete class results summary, total students, average score, highest, lowest, and the list of students who passed and failed. Notice something new in this program. The quotation mark, comma, dot, join, open bracket, passed students, close bracket. The dot join method takes a list and joins all the items together into one string with whatever you put before dot join used as the separator. So, comma, dot, join, open bracket, past student, close bracket, joins all the past student names with a comma and space between them. Also notice sum, open bracket, close bracket. This is a built-in Python function that adds up all the numbers in a list. We did not cover it separately, but you can see exactly what it does in the code. And look at how much work the list comprehensions are doing in this program. 4 different lists: all scores, all names, past student, fail students, each created in a single clean line. Now, let's push everything to the GitHub. Let's go and check GitHub. You can see that our new files have appeared in the repository.